This is going to be a discussion about the state of title updates in 2026. Before I start this video, I want to make it crystal clear that this is not an attack at any of my current partners, developers, publishers, or PR companies that I work with. I'm immensely proud that I get to support you and make content for you. Today, at the time of recording, it is January the 3rd, 2026. In the past 96 hours, there have been over 135 title updates to Xbox and Windows Store games, all of which have added 1000 gamerscore to each title. Before we get into this video, let's talk about what a title update is. According to Microsoft's rules, a developer or publisher can add a title update to a game to add additional gamerscore. The rules that must be followed are that a title update cannot have more than 1000 gamerscore at a time, and no achievement can be worth more than 200 gamerscore. Title updates that have less gamerscore and less achievements are allowed. For example, recently, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 released a title update with a single achievement worth 100 gamerscore. Title updates are not classified as DLC by Microsoft. DLC is considered a free or paid separate download in the Xbox and Windows stores, which adds content to the game only when installed by the player. Title updates are updates to a game that mean the game cannot be played online without them, and thus everyone can play the title updates content for free. A single title update for a game can be added once in every 6-month rotational period. That is to say, a game can have up to 1000 gamerscore added between January the 1st and June the 30th of every year, and an additional 1000 gamerscore added between July the 1st and December 31st of every year. This means in the maximum amount of time of 2 years, and mathematically a minimum of 1 year and 2 days, a game could have 5000 gamerscore, which is the set maximum of gamerscore allowed for a title without explicit permission from Microsoft. To date, the only games that have been allowed to exceed this 5000 gamerscore limit have been Halo Master Chief Collection, Sea of Thieves, The Elder Scrolls Online, Train Sim World 2, Dead by Daylight on both Xbox and Windows versions, Cruise Brothers, and Stellaris, which is a Windows-only game. The original purpose for title updates were for developers to add more gamerscore for additional content. However, the way title updates are released nowadays, this original meaning has been bastardized and manipulated in such a way that Microsoft definitely never foresaw when making the original rules. The original rules were set in place, and in 2020, the Ukrainian developer Zytalon was the first developer to notice this, as he started to add title updates to his games, which required players to do more things on their original games. For example, getting a higher score, getting to a later level, or some other similar progression-based objective. As this title update rule became more known by indie developers, more indie developers came into the marketplace with free title updates, which nearly always used the maximum allowed 1000 gamerscore per title update to appeal to achievement hunters. And this is where the problem lies. These indie developers, many of whom are solo developers, are using title updates as a way to sell gamerscore as opposed to selling their actual game. Many developers are having their achievement lists scanned into the Xbox network early before release, which then allows them to add a title update, bringing the gamerscore for that title up to 2000 gamerscore, even before the public has been able to purchase it. The first developer to exploit this en masse continuously was, and is, Aphil Games. This is definitely not something that Microsoft foresaw, and it's definitely not something that is intended. However, multiple developers are now doing this, which means that the original base 1000 gamerscore for a title for many indie games is now a base 2000 gamerscore. These developers are commonly releasing triple stacks of each of their games, that is to say, an Xbox One version, an Xbox Series version, and a Windows Store version, all which start with 2000 gamerscore because of the method I just described, and all require separate purchases to buy them. Having played 99% of the triple stacks on Xbox, I claim that no game that has had a triple stack has warranted a separate Xbox Series release on top of an Xbox One release. The reason for this is simple. These games are not pushing any boundaries of the Xbox One's capabilities, and thus an Xbox Series version is definitely not required, period. The sole reason that these Xbox Series versions exist is to get more money out of achievement hunters, because developers know full well that in the competitiveness of the Gamerscore leaderboards, achievement hunters are left with a simple choice. 1. Buy the stack and keep up, or 2. Don't buy it and lose your position. As I mentioned earlier, in the previous 96 hours from this video being created, over 135 title updates have been released. The majority have come from Aphil Games, Jolly Lobster Interactive and Yume Game Studio. As it's only the 3rd of January, I'm expecting a gigantic rush of title updates from other developers once the first weekend of the year is over. As Aphil Games released all of their title updates on December 31st, 2025, there is absolutely nothing in the current rules that says they can't duplicate their title update releases for this month as well. Having spent a total of about 10 hours completing these title updates, I can confirm that absolutely none of them required me to do anything further than what I had originally done on each of the games to reach the point of progression that I was currently at. To explain more clearly, a lot of these games have a set number of levels. For example, many of these games have 30 levels, and there are achievements for completing these levels at certain intervals. For example, one game has an achievement for completing every third level up to level 30, which is the final level. The title update that came out just required me to complete 5 levels that weren't listed in a previous achievement. For example, levels 2, 6, 11, 14, 17, 20. You know, ones like that. The thing is, having completed the original game of all 30 levels, I had already completed those levels, which meant there was no additional progression required, meaning absolutely no new content was added, just the requirements for the achievements. Many of these title updates having auto-popped the achievements when loading the updated game because it had seen I'd already completed the required task. And in the last 96 hours, over 135 title updates similar to these have been released. Not a single title update that was released required further progression. Every single one required me to do something that I had already done previously. This is not what title updates were for, and at this point, most achievement hunters, myself included, are getting absolutely sick of seeing title updates every 6 months for games that add no content. A lot of these title updates are including ridiculously stupid and easy tasks, such as jump 10 times, die twice, dash 5 times. These are not achievements. This is not what the title update system was made for, and it is quite clearly being abused, admittedly within Microsoft's own rules, for their use. Just to show exactly how bad the current state of affairs is, at the very moment of this recording, my gamerscore is currently at 6,841,797. If we only counted gamerscore from base games and disregarded all DLC and title updates of every game that I've ever played, my actual gamerscore would be around 4,705,000. That's 2.1 million gamerscore less. That means that I have over 2 million gamerscore in title updates and DLC alone, and that's only ones that I've played. There's many more for other games that I've not even attempted. The problem is, every game from a non-big publisher is seeming to get title updates in a way that adds nothing to the game, and is there simply to get achievement hunters to buy the game to basically increase their score. Gamerscore is now being sold as the main focus of a game rather than the game itself, and this has happened under Microsoft Watch over the last 5 years. In my opinion, This has been exasperated by the sheer amount of asset flipped crap that has been released by AFIL Games. Many smaller devs have seen that AFIL Games have gotten away with it and have gone, I can do that too. And they have done. Repeatedly. Because Microsoft haven't done what they needed to do, and that is to amend the current rules. It is at this point I would like to show a screenshot of my stats for the current month of January 2026. I have played one new game that did not have a title update, or was not content I needed to make for a developer. One this month. When my current gamer score for the month reads 136,675 gamer score, and I've played one new game, there's a fucking problem. This is not stuff that I've gone back to complete after leaving it on a previous occasion. This is all stuff from title updates alone. The problem when this happens every 6 months, normally at the start of January and the start of July, is that it pulls players, mostly the top of the leaderboard achievement hunters, away from stuff that we actually want to play. It pulls them away from enjoying gaming to make them play something that they have already done, and on many occasions, and in the case of all the title updates so far this year, all title updates that they've already done, having to play them again 3 times because of all the stacks. So I've explained why developers are doing them. Let's explain why there are stacks of games rather than using Microsoft's Xbox Play Anywhere system. The answer, quite simply, is money. Many developers who will go unnamed for reasons of privacy have privately stated to me that if they didn't release triple stacks of their games, they would not be able to afford releasing a single version at all. This statement is very telling. It's them basically admitting we are relying on achievement hunters to fund our business. That is not a way that we like to be seen, as cash cows. Many shameless developers, such as AFIL Games, revel in this because to date they've had absolutely no punishment from Microsoft for doing this. The current state of title updates is disastrous. All of the games that have had title updates don't need them, and they stood on their own without needing them. The games were played, and they were fine, and people moved on to the next game. Pulling players back to play a game again that they've already done with nothing new to do does not make the players like the game more. Adversely, it makes the most hardcore of players, the people that these games are supposed to be appealing to, hate those games because they've been pulled away from what they want to play, to repeat something that they've already done and finished. These title updates do not increase good player sentiment to the games or the developers themselves. Why have Microsoft not done anything? We're not quite sure. They might not care. They might not realise. Perhaps our concerns aren't reaching the people that they should. So we've gone over the problem. So what's the solution? I believe that the solution is as follows, and I believe it will make Xbox gaming a much more relaxing and enjoyable experience for not only the players, but for the developers of these games as well. The first and the most important change is that title updates need to be completely stopped unless they are adding additional content. Second, no title update should be allowed within the first 3 months of a game's release. This means that the days of a game launching with 2000 gamer score should immediately cease. In absolutely no circumstance should a game be updated to 2000 gamer score or more before the public even has their hands on it. Paid or free DLC with actual content is excluded from this rule. Third, the days of stacking games needs to end. Microsoft needs to come out and say you can release on multiple platforms, that is to say Xbox One, Xbox Series and Windows, but they must share the same achievement list and use the same save file under our, Microsoft's, Xbox Play Anywhere banner. One achievement list, all platforms. Microsoft needs to see that their most loyal and hardcore of fans are being exploited by these companies because they know damn well that for the sake of their position, they have to play these games or lose their standings. The Xbox Play Anywhere needs to be mandatory. Fourth, Microsoft needs to actively take a look at the quality of games being released on their platform and start stepping in when it's not up to standard. This would mean, however, that Microsoft would actually have to do what they claim they do and test games. One recent indication that those at Microsoft Store certification are not doing their jobs is blatantly seen in the recent release The Legend of Princess Lyria, a game where its Xbox Store page was actively using assets from the game Hentai Princess from PS5, and the game that was actually provided was a very poor Dark Souls clone with absolutely nothing that was visible in the store pages in the actual game itself. If the so-called store certification team had literally loaded the game once, this would have been detected. The fact that this slipped through indicates a major failing at Microsoft's end. What do I hope to achieve by making and releasing this video? The same thing that happened with the AFIL Games videos. I'm hoping enough people see it so that someone who has the power to do something can do something. Because right now, Microsoft is failing its most loyal and most hardcore of supporters. Thanks for watching.